Story 1 of 5. ISIS-linked Australian women and children return from Syria after years in detention. ISIS-linked Australian women and children return from Syria after years in detention. Here's what every outlet agrees on. 4 women, Kauza Abbas, Zainab Ahmed, Zara Ahmed, Janae Safar, and 9 children, total 13, are Australian citizens with Australian passports who left Al Roj detention camp in Syria on April 24, 2026, and arrived in Australia on May 6, 2026, via flights from Doha to Melbourne and Sydney. The group was held in Al Roj camp in northeast Syria for over 6 years since the fall of ISIS in 2019. The Australian Federal Police, AFP, confirmed that some individuals in the group will be arrested and charged upon arrival, including potential terrorism offences, e.g., entering or remaining in declared areas, and crimes against humanity, e.g., slave trading. The children will undergo community integration programs, therapeutic support, and countering violent extremism programs. The Australian government has repeatedly stated it is not repatriating or assisting the group, but cannot legally prevent their return as they are citizens. But not all outlets told the same story. The Syrian government claims the Australian government was the deciding factor in the group's departure and that Australia refused to receive them, but the Australian government denies any involvement in the Syrian government's actions. The ABC and News Kamau report that the group left Al Roj camp on April 24, 2026, while The Age and Guardian mention that the group's return was delayed due to the Australian government's refusal to assist, but the government insists it has not interfered with their legal right to return. The Guardian and News Kamau report that the group's return was the result of a coordinated effort by advocates, including Jamal Rifi, but the Australian government denies any assistance or involvement in the process. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au, and The Age. Story 2 of 5. 5-year-old Kumanjayi Little Baby's abduction, murder, and aftermath in Alice Springs, NT. 5-year-old Kumanjayi Little Baby's abduction, murder, and aftermath in Alice Springs, NT. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Kumanjayi Little Baby, a 5-year-old Walpiri girl, was last seen alive at 11:30 p.m. on Saturday, April 25, 2026, at Old Timers Illaperoni Town Camp in Alice Springs, NT. Her body was found approximately 5 kilometers south of Old Timers Town Camp near the Todd River on Thursday, April 30, 2026, at around midday. Jefferson Lewis, a 47-year-old man, was arrested on Thursday, April 30, 2026, near Charles Creek Town Camp in Alice Springs after being beaten by a mob. Lewis was charged with the murder of Kumanjayi Little Baby and 2 counts of sexual assault on Sunday, May 4, 2026, and is remanded in custody. Violent riots erupted outside Alice Springs Hospital on Thursday, April 30, 2026, after Lewis's arrest, involving around 400 people, with police using tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse the crowd. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian and ABC report that Kumanjayi Little Baby's body was found on April 30, 2026, while news.com.au states it was found on April 29, 2026. The Guardian and ABC report that Lewis was charged with murder and 2 counts of sexual assault, but news.com.au initially reported only murder and 2 other unspecified charges. The Guardian and ABC report that Lewis was arrested on April 30, 2026, while news.com.au states he was arrested on April 29, 2026. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au, SBS News, Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. Story 3 of 5. Queensland Minister's undisclosed relationship and conflict of interest allegations. Queensland Minister's undisclosed relationship and conflict of interest allegations. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Tim Mandaya, Olympics Minister, and Amanda Cam, Child Safety Minister, were in a personal relationship from June 2023 to May 2024, then resumed it in June 2025. Both ministers declared their resumed relationship to Cabinet in July 2025 after seeking advice from the Integrity Commissioner. Premier David Crisafulli ruled out a cabinet reshuffle and stated he trusts the minister's compliance with the Ministerial Code of Conduct. Tim Mandea's sister-in-law, Lynn Waters, wrote to Premier Crisafulli in June-July 2025 alleging the relationship had been ongoing for at least 2 years. The Ministerial Code of Conduct requires ministers to declare personal relationships that could lead to a conflict of interest within 1 month of being sworn in. But not all outlets told the same story. The ABC and Guardian state the relationship resumed in June 2025, but Mandea's sister-in-law's letter suggests it was ongoing before her correspondence in June-July 2025. The ministers claim they were not in a relationship when sworn in, November 2024, but the opposition argues the timeline is too convenient and suggests it was undeclared for months. Premier Crisafulli says he was unaware of the earlier relationship until it was declared, but the ABC reports he was actually aware of it while they were in opposition. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, and news.com.au. Story 4 of 5. Theft of $150,000 worth of beehives from rural NSW property investigated by police. Theft of $150,000 worth of beehives from rural NSW property investigated by police. Here's what every outlet agrees on. 80 beehive boxes worth over $150,000 were stolen from a rural NSW property on Bruxner Way, 15 kilometers west of Bonshaw and 100 kilometers northwest of Glen Innes. The theft occurred between Tuesday the 31st of March, 2026 and Wednesday the 6th of May, 2026. The stolen beehives are described as predominantly cream-colored with blue baseboards, blue and white lids, and red clear boards. NSW Police's Rural Crime Prevention Team is investigating the theft. Police are urging anyone with information to contact them or Crime Stoppers 1800-333-000. But not all outlets told the same story. No contradictions found between the two sources. This story was covered by The Guardian and news.com.au. Story 5 of 5. Fatal car crash in Sydney's Royal National Park linked to street racing and drag racing charges. Fatal car crash in Sydney's Royal National Park linked to street racing and drag racing charges. Here's what every outlet agrees on. 2 men were charged in connection with a fatal crash where an Audi plunged into the Hacking River at Audley Weir Crossing in Royal National Park on May 6, 2026, at approximately 1:15 a.m. The victim was 20-year-old Mohammed Kashif, a Kashala-based university student and cricket player, whose body was recovered at 10:20 a.m. on May 6, 2026. The Audi driver, a 20-year-old man, was charged with dangerous driving occasioning death and a backup charge of negligent driving occasioning death. An 18-year-old man driving a Mercedes was charged with driving with a suspended license, not complying with high-performance vehicle restrictions, holding a phone while driving, driving without displaying P-plates, and possessing a prohibited substance. Both men were granted conditional bail and will appear at Sutherland Local Court on June 18, 2026. But not all outlets told the same story. The SMH mentions the Audi sank in the Hacking River, while Newscomer refers to it as the Audley Weir Crossing without explicitly naming the river. This story was covered by news.com.au and Sydney Morning Herald.